Now, Fox 17 News at 9.
We begin with breaking news tonight, a potential victory for Governor Bredesen and the TennCare battle.
Well, the federal government has given Tennessee the go-ahead to reduce enrollment to the state's health care program. Now, tonight, the U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services approved the first phase of the TennCare restructuring plan. The state is still seeking approval of Phase 2 of the plan, which will place limits on TennCare benefits. TennCare enrollees will be notified before losing any coverage or benefits. Well, of course, that is bad news for several TennCare enrollees who are hoping that their stories will make an impact on the governor's plan to cut them from the program. Westport native Don Duvall delivered a letter to the governor's office along with a collection of stories about those on the state health care program this morning. The capital was the first and last stop in a 9-city campaign that began last week called the Drive to Save Lives. Concerned patients drove around the state in ambulances raising awareness about possible TennCare cuts. Duvall says he just wanted to let the governor know his concerns about the welfare of program participants.
You know, we're indeed watching this, and we're indeed really scared, nervous, mad, and we want to do whatever it takes to let him know that there are other ways, and he doesn't have to do it this way.
Well, more than 300,000 TennCare patients will stand to lose coverage if the governor's proposal does indeed go ahead.
Now to our other big story, a Franklin family's worst nightmare becomes reality tonight.
Well, investigators identify the body of a woman found in a Tennessee state park as Amanda Phillips Bateman. The 29-year-old woman disappeared while driving to visit her parents in Franklin. Well, tonight, TBI agents say they know who killed her, but need your help finding the suspect. Fox 17's John Dunn has the story.
The mystery surrounding the body found in Natchez Trace State Park in Henderson County is somewhat clearer tonight.
And we have determined through fingerprint identification that in fact that body is of Amanda Bateman.
But investigators have more work to do. They're looking for this man, 30-year-old Bobby Joe McCauley.
We have no idea at this time exactly where he may be.
Authorities believe Amanda Phillips Bateman left her church in Chandler, Oklahoma late Sunday night on her way to visit her parents in Franklin, Tennessee. When she got to Memphis, detectives believe she picked up a hitchhiker named Bobby Joe McCauley. 2 days later, Phillips Bateman's body was found at the state park just outside of Lexington, Tennessee. Her car was later discovered in Dallas, Texas. Bobby Joe McCauley is a homeless man who travels from place to place. But investigators do know this. He spends a lot of his time at truck stops. Authorities believe McCauley may be earning money by washing trucks and then hopping rides with drivers. Posters with his picture are now being circulated at truck stops nationwide.
McCauley should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. He is a known violent offender and has been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Investigators say this case provides a good reminder about the dangers of picking up hitchhikers, an unnecessary risk that can have deadly consequences. In Jackson, John Dunn, Fox 17 News.
Well, the TBI has added Bobby Joe McCauley to its top 10 most wanted list. He is facing a first-degree murder charge. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. You may be eligible for a reward up to $10,000.
For Amanda Phillips Bateman's family, today's identification will start to bring closure to a horrible situation. The Phillips family says before investigators confirmed Amanda's death, they knew the outcome would not be good, but they say God has given them the peace to deal with her death.
It hurts like crazy.
But we've had such a peace because God's grace has been so precious and so sustaining to us. But it's been really hard.
Amanda Phillips Bateman's family believes she lost her life while doing something she loved so much, spreading religion to strangers.
All over this country. And she shared Jesus with whoever she picked up.
She'd met some peculiar people over the years doing this, but she'd never had any serious incidences.
Amanda's family knew she loved to pick up hitchhikers, something that always concerned them.
We could understand her heart, but we were not ignorant of the potential problems.
And Amanda's kindness has now turned into tragedy for her family.
But I don't want to lose what my sister has done and just let her just die and her death be meaningless and just painful. But I don't want people to forget why Mandy picked this man up. God promised us his forgiveness, and we don't deserve it any more than Mr. McCauley.
The Phillips are asking for Bobby Joe McCauley to turn himself into authorities so he doesn't hurt anyone else.
We want to see him get saved, but he does have a penalty to pay for his crime, and we want to see that take place.
Tonight, David and Ann Phillips hope other families can get something positive from Amanda's tragedy.
Be careful out there. Hug your daughters and your sons, because you don't know who you might pick up and you'll never see them again.
Amanda's family will hold 2 services, one at the People's Church in Franklin and the other in Oklahoma, where she lived. But they aren't releasing any details of the services because they want them to be private.
The investigation into Senator John Ford's business dealings has taken yet another turn tonight.
The state attorney general's office has joined the ethics investigation into the Memphis senator. Fox 17's Sky Arnold tells us why that may mean more trouble for Ford.
I want this institution to prevail, and I want it to have the confidence of the public.
That's the reason Ethics Committee member Senator Joe Haynes gives for taking a closer look at John Ford.
I have no comment. You heard testimony.
Specifically, a closer look at Ford's consulting work and whether or not he used his position as a lawmaker to help his business partners, Johnson Controls and Doral Dental, get an inside track to state contracts.
Obviously, the Johnson Controls issue that Senator Haynes brought up is brought to our attention. The Doral Dental has been brought to our attention, of course, and all those don't pass the smell test.
Before today, the Senate Ethics Committee was simply looking into Ford's failure to report personal consulting fees.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
But today's vote gives senators the ability to do much more. The commission is now investigating with the help of the Attorney General.
And we're going to be based on facts, not on no offense, but not on news accounts. We want to make sure the facts are laid before us.
Whatever ends up happening to Senator Ford, this investigation could have broader effects. Tonight, one lawmaker has filed this bill to ban any senator from being a consultant.
It really does bring us to the standard that the public expects from a public official.
It all adds up to more attention for a senator who said only this about the accusations against him.
I've done no wrong. I've violated no law.
The man who filed the initial complaint against Ford says there's a good reason he hasn't had to say much more.
Without pressure from the news media, nothing happens in our state regarding wrongdoings that are occurring.
Sky Arnold, Fox 17 News.
And late this afternoon, the state also passed a bill making it a crime for state lawmakers to accept money for consulting.
Metro Police are looking for a gunman they say is responsible for shooting a teenager in East Nashville tonight. A 15-year-old boy was found shot to death in the alley next to Parkway Terrace Apartments on 7th Street. Metro Police say the unidentified teen may have been armed himself when the argument led to gunfire just after 6 tonight, but they are still looking for a suspect. If you have any information, please call Metro Police at 862-8600.
A 13-year-old Lebanon boy is dead tonight after drowning when he fell into a rock quarry. Police say the boy was walking along Bluebird Road with his brother when he lost his footing and fell into the water. Authorities say the boy was underwater for about 10 minutes before help arrived. He was taken to Vanderbilt Hospital where he later died.
It has now been 6 days since Terry Schiavo had her feeding tube removed, and tonight her parents are running out of options to keep their daughter alive. The family has suffered more legal setbacks in an effort to get that feeding tube reinserted. Mary Snow has the very latest from Florida.
With legal options being exhausted, the fight over Terry Schiavo's life shifted from the court to the hospice, where she's been without a feeding tube for 6 days. A spokesman for her parents called the Supreme Court's refusal today to hear their appeal to reinsert the tube a significant blow.
They're very disappointed. They're in shock. They can't believe this is happening.
An attorney for Schiavo's husband, Michael, says he was grateful for the high court's decision, as well as a state court's decision later today that turned down efforts to put Schiavo in state custody.
Absent a kidnapping, Terry Schiavo is going to remain at hospice.
But the court ruling didn't silence the debate. Randall Terry is the founder of the anti-abortion group Operation Rescue.
If she dies, there is going to be hell to pay with the pro-life, pro-family, Republican people of various legislative levels.
Michael Schiavo's brother denounced the conservative group for playing politics.
This is not about Terry anymore. This is all a political view. They're trying to, they're being bullied actually by these Right for Life people.
Protesters here are calling on Governor Jeb Bush to step in. He tried that on Wednesday, but it failed in the courts. And he says that he can't go beyond what his powers are. Reporting from Pinellas Park, Florida, I'm Mary Snow.
And late tonight, the Florida Supreme Court refused to overturn a judge's order blocking the state from taking custody of Terry Schiavo.
2 men accused of shooting a North Nashville woman on a playground are indicted for first-degree murder. Michael Rivers and Ricardo Clay were indicted by a grand jury today. Metro Police say the 2 men were fighting early Valentine's Day morning and started shooting at each other on the Cumberland View Public Housing Development's playground. Authorities say one of the bullets Rivers fired hit Penny Richardson, killing her and her unborn child. Rivers is in custody, but police are still looking for Ricardo Clay, who was the victim's brother.
All right, time now to take a look at the weather. And if you're out and about today,
it was
chilly.
cold. Yes, it was a little chilly. I had my jacket, Joe, and I really needed it. Will I need it tonight?
Yeah, you probably will tonight. One of those days when the pesky clouds just would not get out of the way to give us that sunshine to warm us up today. Let's go take a look downtown right now. There's the Shelby Street pedestrian bridge all lit up, and things are okay downtown. It's still got the cloud cover around. Take a look at the satellite. See a couple of breaks, especially in southern Middle Tennessee now, but another batch of clouds is going to roll in from the west, and guess what's with those? More rain on the way. How long is that going to be with us? We'll tell you coming up.
All right, very good.
Thanks, Joe.
It is a landmark legal victory for disabled residents in Tennessee.
Still to come on Fox 17 News, how courthouses around the state will now have to make major renovations.
It's enough to make you check twice before taking a bite of your next fast food purchase. You won't believe what a woman found in her meal.
And The Passion of the Christ is set to be re-released just in time for Easter. Later, an interview with the movie star.
And still ahead in the Fox News Rundown at 9:18, she helped capture a killer. Tonight, a Georgia woman is being rewarded for her efforts.
Plus, you can run, but you can't hide. At 9:23, the IRS is after tax dodgers.
And then at 10 on the late edition, an American Idol judge is in trouble with the law. See why Paula Abdul could be facing a judge herself. You're watching Fox 17 News.
I'm Dwayne, a student at Belmont University, home of the Belmont Bruins. Belmont is proud to be part of the Fox 17 Top Teacher Program. To nominate your teacher, go to fox17.com.
Get $8,000 off every new Dodge Ram in stock, or lease just $349 a month. The all-new Nashville Dodge, I-24, exit 60, Antioch.
When I went to budget brakes, my brakes wasn't squeaking a little, they were grinding. They done the work and the bill wasn't as bad as I expected.
Budget Brakes, it's honest brake repair for people living on a budget.
Fox 17 News, brought to you by the Tennessee State Fairgrounds Flea Market this weekend.
Watch for the Fox Top Teacher Wednesday night at 9 with Joe Case on Fox 17 News. Then see the winner live Thursday on Tennessee mornings at 6 a.m. The Fox 17 Top Teacher, brought to you by Belmont University, Gary Force Acura, and Franklin American Mortgage.
Shrimp lovers rejoice! Captain D's new Festival Shrimp combos are here. Get a boatload of zingy Festival Shrimp or pair them with our hand-battered fish. With fries, pups, and a drink, just $3.99 each. New Festival Shrimp combos, only at Captain D's.
At Tanner Kia, we want you to compare and save. Compare prices. Kias are priced thousands less than other leading imports. Buy a new 05 Rio for only $169 a month. Compare safety. The Sedona minivan received a 5-star safety rating. Buy one today for just $229 a month. Plus, the Avanti luxury sedan comes standard with 8 airbags. Compare warranty. Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Compare and save. Then make every mile count at Tanner Kia. Conveniently located in Hickory Hollow and in Rivergate.
The enemy has numbers on its side. He has power on his. The power to protect his home from invaders. Control weeds quickly. Conquer them completely. Spectracide. Protect. Control. Conquer.
My 300 is a 2005 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
It's the only minivan with stow-and-go seating. And I got 0% financing. It's got best-in-class cargo space.
And we need it.
5-star crash test rating.
It's got a lot of storage. Bonus cash and DVD player.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Chrysler Spring Sales Event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Get 0% financing plus a March bonus cash allowance for savings of up to $7,400 on Pacifica.
Here we go.
We got the best deal on our Pacifica.
You're watching Fox 17 News at 9.
Many of Tennessee's historic courthouses have a history of limited access for those with disabilities.
Well, tonight that history is being rewritten after a battle that went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. A settlement in a long-running federal lawsuit will force all state courthouses to become wheelchair accessible. Fox 17's Erica Lathan has more on the historic case.
A courtroom is a place where justice is served, but for years, court reporter Beverly Jones found it was also a place where access to someone in a wheelchair could be limited.
In the beginning, it was a hit or miss as far as which courthouse I was hired to go in, whether or not I had to be carried up those stairs.
George Lane encountered a similar challenge at the Polk County Courthouse after a car crash left him disabled.
There was no other way to access the courtroom because therefore it was on the second floor, and I crawled up 2 flights of stairs. I just said, well, you know, this is not right.
7 years ago, Lane and Jones took their concerns to attorney William Brown. He took the case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and won.
Of the 25 counties that we originally sued, 21 of them have indicated that it is their intention to make modifications to their physical structures in order to ensure that individuals with disabilities are no longer discriminated against.
Under the settlement, state courts in all Tennessee counties have to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act, providing equal access to those with disabilities. George Lane and Beverly Jones say it's not just a win for them, but for all Tennesseans with disabilities.
No one will have to ever be carried or crawled up a set of stairs to participate in our traditional system.
Erica Lathan, Fox 17 News.
Now, all 6 plaintiffs in the lawsuit were also awarded monetary damages. State courthouses have up to 5 years to fully comply with the ADA requirements.
Making news in America tonight, she's responsible for leading authorities to the capture of the Atlanta courthouse shooter.
Well, tonight, Ashley Smith is $75,000 richer thanks to her courageous work.
Georgia's governor and law enforcement groups praised her courage, strength, and perseverance while being held hostage in her apartment by alleged gunman Brian Nichols. The 26-year-old widowed mother says miracles can happen even in the midst of tragedy. She says she'll use the money for education and help to pay off loans.
In Minnesota, a survivor of Monday's Red Lake High School shooting says the teen gunman had a mean face. 15-year-old Cody Thunder says he was in shock when it happened, and at first he thought the shooter was messing around with a paintball gun. 4 adults and 5 students were killed, making it the worst U.S. school shooting since Columbine. The high school will be closed at least 2 more weeks to allow students and faculty to grieve.
A woman eating at a Wendy's restaurant in Northern California gets more than she ordered. She found part of a human finger in her bowl of chili. The finger was about 1.5 inches long and contained part of a manicured nail. Health officials say the woman was sickened by the experience.
She's doing okay. Initially, she was a bit grossed out, as she described to me, and vomited a number of times, mainly just because of the unpleasant experience of having this finger in her mouth.
Health officials say the chili was cooked at a high enough temperature to kill any viruses. Investigators are tracing the ingredients back to the manufacturer. Wendy's says it's cooperating in the investigation.
U.S. troops say they need better ways to keep themselves safe in war.
Still to come on Fox 17 News, how a Tennessee company is helping them do just that.
Coming up in Fox First Sports, star Vandy pitcher Ryan Mullins returns to the team and is ready to put his DUI incident behind him.
And the TVA is cleaning up its act, but could it cost you in the long run?
Those stories and much more after a look at tonight's Fox Stocks.
What have we taken out of Roundup Original Max herbicide? Nothing but the cost. Roundup Original Max is a real Roundup brand, real Roundup rewards at just $4.95 an acre. Why use generics? Get Roundup Original Max.
We make it easy at Alexander Ford. Easy for you to get top dollar for your trade. Easy shopping. Choose from $25 million of new inventory. $10 million pre-owned inventory. All new Ford F-150 Super Cab pickups. $275 a month with zero down. New 05 Explorers, only $20,688. Plus the all-new Ford 500, now $19,988. At Alexander Ford Franklin and Alexander Ford Murfreesboro.
The Alexander family.
Right here at the Crossings in Hickory Hollow, it's Pool & Spa Depot's huge spring sales events. 24-foot above grounds are starting at only $1,200 installed. In-ground pools installed from just $79.99. See our huge display of spas like a 4-person from $19.99. Tanning beds, pool tables, gazebos.
Nobody displays more types of pools than we do.
In Nashville, Cookeville, Rivergate, and Bowling Green, it's
Pool & Spa Depot.
We switched to fair and flexible at Sprint because our old wireless company charged these huge fees for going over our minutes on our family plan. So we had a family meeting, took a vote, and decided it was all Wendy's fault. Yeah, but she suggested Sprint, so it all worked out.
Good call, Wendy.
Thank you.
No more huge overages. Sprint automatically adds anytime minutes as you need them. Every 100 minutes costs just $5. Others charge $35 or more. Sprint PCS. Now that's better.
Chevy. Now more than ever, it's the right truck. Right now, during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event, get 0% APR financing for qualified buyers on Chevy Silverado. Buy an 05 Silverado half-ton Cruise Z71 with available option packages to get discounts and average finance savings of about $79.42. Big deals for the big dance. Hurry, ends March 31st. See your Middle Tennessee Chevy dealer today.
What have we taken out of Roundup Original Max herbicide? Nothing but the cost. Roundup Original Max is a real Roundup brand. Real Roundup rewards at just $4.95 an acre. Why use generics? Get Roundup Original Max.
And here are tonight's Cash 3 winning lottery numbers, 646. That's 646.
Topping tonight's Fox Business Beat, you can run, but you can't hide.
That's the message the IRS has tonight for wealthy tax dodgers. Officials from the IRS say they have collected more than $3 billion from about 1,100 taxpayers. IRS Commissioner Mark Everson said some people have had to sell their villa and yachts to come up with the money. The agency says it should collect $3.5 billion when it's done with its current sweep.
Tougher clean air standards may force the TVA to increase rates. They also will be forced to review many aging coal-fired plants as a result of the standards. TVA, which last raised rates in 2003, supplies power to more than 8 million people in Tennessee, Kentucky, and 5 other southern states. The Vanderbilt baseball team is back at full strength.
This after playing the past 2 weeks without its top pitcher. Fox 17's Paul Jones has more in Fox First Sports. Paul?
This is a guy who made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake. Now it's time to learn from it and get back to helping his team. Ryan Mullins is anxious for Doors fans to get back to talking about his pitching instead of a recent DUI arrest. Now that his 2-week suspension is over, he's back on the field and ready to put his off-the-field problems behind him.
Ryan Mullins sits by himself in the dugout, but it's nothing compared to how alone he felt when the Commodores battled without him.
It was already rough just because family and friends, and then, of course, when it came out in the media, everybody that isn't that close to you found out too. So, I mean, it was just something I had to battle through, and just going to try and use it as a positive now.
The junior left-hander has a knack for making batters whiff. 21 strikeouts in 18 innings of work so far this season. More high fives are ahead from understanding teammates.
He's handled himself with class and understands, what happened. And as teammates, we've just, gone about our business. And, he's our teammate and he's back now. So, no hard feelings.
What did you say to your teammates?
Really, what can you say? Just apologize and work hard and just let them know that I'm still there for them and I'm going to give them 110%.
While his coach watches and hopes for the best.
I hope he's learned something. I mean, he's a good kid, but, he's one of those kids up to this point that's had to go down Fool's Hill a few times before he's learned lessons. He's got a hard head, but, you know, I hope he's gotten something out of this, and we'll just see.
Corbin says the lefty could pitch this weekend against Alabama, although it would be in a relief role. Mullins needs to build up arm strength since he's been out a while. Still ahead, it's been a sweet season for the Vanderbilt women's hoop squad. Coming up, we'll check in on them as they get ready for the Sweet 16 in Kansas City. That's later in the newscast.
All right, that sounds exciting.
Very good. Thank you,
Thanks,
Paul. Well, there are health concerns for children taking medicine for attention deficit disorder.
Still ahead in the Fox News Rundown at 9:38, how one consumer group wants certain ADD medication pulled.
Keeping U.S. troops safe overseas is a key concern, of course, for the military. At 9:45, why soldiers are looking to a mid-state company for help.
At 9:50, how a battle over sports radio is causing static here in Music City.
And by the looks of things, your peeps may get a little soggy this weekend. We'll tell you about that coming up.
Friday at 6, turn to Fox 17 and 1510 WLAC for Tennessee Mornings. We'll spend Good Friday with Passion of the Christ actor Jim Caviezel.
We'll also see who stays and who goes on American Idol. Plus, we'll have a preview of Extravaganza.
We're the best way to start your day with news and more. Tennessee Mornings beginning at 6.
Fox Friday. Join Oprah, Prince, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, and more for the best in music, TV, and movies. The NAACP Image Awards.
Friday at 7 on Fox 17.
The march is on at Hayes Nissan. Nissan's March to Sell 1 million starts now. Stop into Hayes Nissan and get the deal you deserve. Come see our huge inventory of Nissan Sentras, Altimas, Maximas, Frontiers, Xteras, Armadas, Muranos, Titans, and Quests. Get financing as low as 1% or up to $2,500 in customer cash. Where the customer gets more. More service, more selection. That's Hayes Nissan in Madison, where we always give you more.
If you decide to quit smoking, you're not alone. Quitting is hard, but millions of people have succeeded. To help you find your own way, get a free copy of the Quit Assist Resource Guide. It points the way to expert quitting information, websites, guides, quit lines, what has worked for others, and more. It could help you find your own path to success. Quit Assist, a free resource from Philip Morris USA. Call or log on.
My lawn is really by pride and joy. I know it's weed-free, I know it's dandelion-free, I know that for a fact because I hate dandelions. But every time I'm out here working on it, my neighbor Lana says, how do you get rid of your dandelions? I do it by using Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. The light granule sticks to that wet leaf much easier than a heavy granule, which would fall off. If it doesn't stick, it just doesn't work. Apply it, sticks to the leaf, Zappo. No more dandelions. Actually, to tell you the truth, she's trying to keep up with me. Uh-oh, I think she heard me. I think it's the greatest product ever made.
Welcome to the Lincoln Mercury Roadshow Sales Event, starring the all-new Mercury Mariner, a more stylish take on the compact SUV, and special roadshow values on every new Mercury, including the award-winning Mercury Mountaineer. Lease it for just $299 a month, now through March 31st during the Lincoln Mercury Roadshow Sales Event, and see the all-new Mercury Mariner and Montego.
Coming up tonight at 10 on Fox 17 News Late Edition, take a good look at these three faces. If you know who they are, police want to talk to you tonight, find out why. And Vandy pays a big price for a huge celebration. We'll explain. Plus...
I'm Jennifer Glidestone. Here's what we're working on tonight for the Late Edition. Canada may not support the war, but that doesn't mean it will protect AWOL soldiers. The governor's slapped with a libel suit. Now he'll have to grope his way through the British courts. And in a country that's so afraid to offend, why was this woman fired because of where she was born? We'll have all these stories and much more. It's all coming up tonight on the Late Edition.
Thanks, Jennifer. Well, it was one of the most controversial movies of 2004. The Passion of the Christ returns to theaters just in time for the Easter holiday, and the second release of the movie is creating more controversy. Fox 17's Kelly Sutton sat down with the movie star Jim Caviezel.
It's been seen by millions. It grossed $611 million worldwide. Now Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ is recut and back in theaters. But has the recut version altered the impact of the movie? The star of the film, Jim Caviezel, doesn't think so.
It was going to be very challenging for Mel to see if he could pull it off in the re-edits, without watering it down. But really it's like seeing an Alfred Hitchcock movie in a lot of ways, where you hear, you don't see so much. And a lot of that was already going on in the first version. He tried to get it down from an R-rated to a PG-13 rating, and he couldn't do it.
Some of the more violent scenes have been removed or altered to make the film more accessible to a wider audience. However, Caviezel insists the film is still true to form. He says the authenticity of the movie and Mel Gibson's commitment is why he signed on to play the role of Jesus.
That book is very offensive, so either tell the story the way it was, or why even do it? And thank goodness I was able to work with Mel, and that he had the same convictions about that, or I wouldn't have done it.
Caviezel says he was not the same after finishing this film. He says parts of the movie were so challenging he didn't know if he would be able to finish certain scenes. You can see the rest of our interview with Jim Caviezel tomorrow on Tennessee Mornings. Back to you.
All right, time now for weather, and as Joe said, a little chilly today, and it looks like more rain on the way for the weekend, possibly, Joe.
Yes, it does. Your Easter bonnet, and I know, Ashley, you've already bought your Easter bonnet for this year. May come in handy to keep it out of your eyes, but it could get a little wet on the old bonnet this weekend because of all the stuff that's back out here to the west of us. The nearest to us right now is just now trying to move its way across the Mississippi River, but most of that activity is streaming its way toward the northeast. Tomorrow during the day we could see some off and on showers. We'll look at our future cast in just a second to show you how that should be panning out. Let's color code that and see where the wintry precipitation is left over. If you're going to be traveling this weekend up to the northern plains, that's where they're still seeing some snow. Also up around the Great Lakes area, could be some mixing with some rain, sleet, and snow in southern parts of Michigan headed over toward Detroit. But some heavier showers, heavier downpours moving through Illinois as we speak. A little closer view for us showing us very close by. There's some rain, but again, most of that activity is slipping its way toward the northeast. This back end of it here could be moving in to our area tomorrow. 53 degrees, our high temperature today, 44 the low. Now, it's 53. We were expecting to get up in the 60s if the sun had just popped out, but those clouds persisted today, just would not get out of the way, held the temperatures down. No precipitation out there today. Right now, temperature standing at 46 degrees, winds out of the east at 6, humidity 79%. Our pressure is falling at 29.97. Check on the temperatures around the Mid-South right now. Down in Memphis, they did see a little sunshine today, and they had some warmer temperatures. Look at that, 63 degrees there, 58 in Birmingham, 62 in Atlanta. The folks from Nashville toward Knoxville and Paducah and that line up to the north staying in the 40s as of right now, 48 over in Knoxville. The very cold air is parked right up here in Montana, portions of Wyoming into North Dakota with temperatures there in the teens. Temperatures around Dallas are at 69 degrees this hour, 76 down in Miami, 64 degrees out in Phoenix, 54 out in San Francisco. Now for tomorrow, one low pressure after the other, moving along a new cold front as it makes its way into the area. Showers along that, at least off and on. Don't think it's going to be a complete day of showers, just off and on rain showers, it looks like. Then this next system back here to the west that's bringing snow out in the higher elevations, that's going to be marching its way across and be here about the same time as the Easter Bunny on Sunday. So looking at tomorrow, a pretty good chance for some thunder showers around tomorrow with the system. Watch our future cast. Bang, by early in the morning, could be some, and then it gets out of the way. Then this next system moves its way across. We still have some residual showers from the first couple of systems, and then the next one poised to make its way in on Easter Sunday. High tomorrow in Atlanta should be 82. On the flip side of that front, it's only going to be 41 degrees in Chicago, 61 in Dallas. Tonight, mostly cloudy showers here, possible late overnight, 47 degrees. Over the weekend, we're looking for a chance for some thunder showers on Saturday, actually, 57 degrees. Sunrise services could be a little bit soggy early on Sunday morning and all during the day. On Sunday, expect a few showers, 65. Here's that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, at least we should get up to around 70. Warmer air beginning to move in, but then the warm air leaves us very quickly over the weekend. We'll start warming back up again by next Wednesday. We should hit a perfect 72 degrees. So signs of temperatures beginning to work their way up. That's the good sign.
We
Very
want the
good.
signs to start to show.
Yes.
We want the sign.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Well, car thefts are on the rise here in the Mid-State.
Well, still to come on Fox 17 News. Now, Metro Police are giving you hints on how to park smart.
Also ahead, why help for some chronically ill patients may just be a vitamin shot away.
And next in Health Beat, a scary situation in one southern state. Doctors say 7 children may have gotten sick from a petting zoo.
But first, gas prices continue to climb. If you're driving around and see a cheap price, we'd like to know about it. Please call the Fox 17 fuel gauge at 615-369-1717 or report the cheapest prices during Friday's newscast.
Fox 17 weather brought to you by American Home Mortgage.
The customer is always first at American Home Mortgage. American Home Mortgage is proud to sponsor the Dream Home giveaway for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, where children come first.
American Home Mortgage, 1-800-269-7881.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working to find cures for diseases that strike down children. And we won't stop until every child is cured.
Call now or log on to stjude.org.
'Cause it's bigger in the New South, better in a Dodge.
Right now, Dodge Truck Days is the biggest and the best thing going on. Grab Dodge Ram Thunder Road, featuring 345 horses of genuine Hemi power, best-in-class interior room, and 20-inch wheels. Now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can lease a Ram Quad SLT for $289 a month. So hurry in during the spring sales event for Truck Days.
Of all the perks of working for yourself, too often health insurance isn't one of them. So if you're a small business owner making a living but worrying about what life might hold, call this number now and let Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee find a health insurance plan that's right for you. Health insurance for the self-employed, only from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Call now. Blue Cross Blue Shield of covering your bases. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee.
The 265 horsepower Acura MDX with electronic four-wheel drive. Because you never know what nature might throw at you.
It's in the news. Everybody wants more luxury, but we have to watch our money closer than ever. At Nashville Carpet Center, this is not a problem because we're your place for affordable luxury. With our super selection of carpets, rugs, and flooring, and our experts to help you, you'll find your kind of luxury. And our genuine low pricing and custom financing are easy on your budget. So come to Nashville Carpet Center and let us put it together for you. Affordable luxury at 515 4th Avenue South, downtown.
Health Beat on Fox 17 News.
Officials in Florida say 7 children are fighting for their lives tonight with the same life-threatening kidney infection.
What makes their illnesses odd is that all the kids got sick after visiting area fairs. Experts say the children caught the infection from the E. coli bacteria after touching animals in a petting zoo. It is possible that the bug came from contaminated food and beverages at the fairs, but no one is really sure. The one common link is the animals. Five of the 7 children remain in critical condition tonight, and one has been placed on dialysis.
Doctors in Massachusetts say all dialysis patients should be getting vitamin D shots on a regular basis. Currently, the vitamin D injections are only recommended for people who have an elevated hormone level, which accounts for about half of all dialysis patients. Experts say the vitamin D shots can prolong survival. The consumer group Public Citizen says the popular ADD drug Cylert needs to be discontinued immediately. They claim the drug, also known as Pemeline, causes liver failure. The FDA considered asking Abbott Laboratories to discontinue making that drug in 1996. Instead, the company promised to keep a patient registry to monitor serious side effects and agreed to strong warning labels on the bottle. Britain and Canada have already pulled the drug.
Well, there's good news tonight for reservists worried about their health care coverage. The Pentagon says the reservists can keep their coverage going for up to 8 years after retiring. The new rule applies only to those reservists who were mobilized after September 2001. They must also agree to stay in the drilling reserves when they leave active duty to keep the insurance.
Well, soldiers say they're not always getting enough protection on the battle lines.
That's right. Still to come on Fox 17 News, how a Middle Tennessee company is trying to help solve the problem.
Plus, the 3 things you need to know before you park your car downtown.
And the chess king Bobby Fischer makes an international move. Those stories and more, but first, the point.
Copplegate was last year's scandal surrounding ABC Nightline's trivialization of the deaths of our brave servicemen and women. Ted Koppel read the names of troops who had died in Iraq. Casualties from Afghanistan were intentionally excluded. Koppel didn't read the names on the anniversary of Operation Iraqi Freedom or on Memorial Day, which he referred to as a day of keg parties. Instead, he read the names on the anniversary of President Bush's premature mission accomplished speech, a political statement by Koppel. This would have been acceptable if Koppel labeled it commentary, but he called it news. ABC colleague George Stephanopoulos announced a week earlier that Koppel's stunt was to mark the anniversary of the end of major combat operations announcement. Koppel and executive producer Leroy Sievers denied this was their motive, but their denials were no more credible than when these 2 news veterans claimed they didn't know that the television ratings period had just begun. More than 60 years of combined TV experience, and they didn't know what all viewers know. Unbelievable. ABC News president David Weston has now contradicted their earlier denials. Weston wrote in the current issue of the Columbia Journalism Review, and I quote, "1 year after President Bush declared the end of major hostilities in Iraq, Nightline devoted an entire program to reading the names of American service personnel killed to that point." With Weston's admission, everything is now in the open. There's no denying that Koppel was performing commentary, not delivering the news. And now that the election is long over, it's unlikely we'll see Nightline repeat its roll call reading of the dead. And that's the point. I'm Mark Hyman. Log on to newscentral.tv and tell me what you think.
Tonight at 10:30 on Fox 17.
Tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Mercy. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Well, maybe, but I got you pegged.
Lots of Toyota cars, hundreds of choices. Toyota's nationwide spring sales event with thousands of amazing values. Like a new Camry, America's best-selling car 3 years in a row. Now comes with 1.9 financing or $700 cash back. Or lease a new Camry for just $229 a month for 36 months with $14.99 due at signing. Toyota's nationwide spring sales event. Quality, selection, value. Now that's moving you forward.
This is our state, we elect them, and we should have the right to know what's really going on Capitol Hill.
Regulation defines where the lines are, where the lines are drawn.
I think what I'm really upset about is that I never knew that lobbyists weren't held accountable. I thought someone was addressing that, and if I didn't know there was no accountability with lobbyists, who else doesn't know?
Watson's Nashville is the largest single-store pool builder in America.
Watson's offers in-ground pools from basic to custom design. Over 50 different spas on display featuring cow spas and artesian spas. A big selection of outdoor patio furniture.
That's Watson's.
Nashville knows all about breaking records. At Action Nissan, we're making history and changing car buying forever. It's the Drive to a Million sales event at Action Nissan. Goals have never been higher. 1 million. 05 Action Nissan Altimas, now only $16,977. That's right, $16,977. 2005 Quest, $5,000 off MSRP. Hurry in, time's running out. Action Nissan.
Hey! Take a look at this preseason sale on white lawn tractors. 25 horsepower, 54-inch cut, $22.99. 22 horsepower, 46-inch cut, $13.99.
And this Cup Gazette zero-turn riding lawnmower, just $24.99. Hey!
The new 2006 6-Speed GS. The next phenomenon from Lexus. At Lexus of Nashville in Cool Springs and Lexus of Nashville North in Madison.
You're watching Fox 17 News at 9.
Every day, U.S. troops face danger on the streets of Iraq, but a Nashville company is providing some vital military hardware. Armor and weapons are two critical issues for soldiers in Iraq.
Well, the war has shown that not all U.S. military equipment is up to the task. Soldiers complain that military vehicles are not properly protected, do not have enough weapons, and are not always user-friendly. And that's where a Nashville company is making a big difference. We take an in-depth look in tonight's Fox Focus. Iraq is a very dangerous place, and 2 years after the war began, U.S. troops continue to come under attack on a daily basis. Keeping U.S. soldiers safe is the top priority of Pony Maples, president of Military Systems Group in Nashville. His company is contracted by the Pentagon to design high-tech military hardware.
It feels great that we are able to make something that has two purposes. One is to take out the terrorists, and the other is to bring back our troops alive.
Early on in the war, it was clear that many military vehicles, including the Humvee, were especially vulnerable to roadside attacks. A simple explosive device is proving to be deadly.
Basically, it's an artillery round that is hooked to a cell phone, and you can dial that cell phone and hit send, and it sets off the artillery round.
And the results are devastating. This side panel of a Humvee hanging on a wall shows the impact. Shrapnel tore apart the metal, killing several Rangers inside. It was part of a vehicle designed right here at MSG.
When I saw that vehicle come back for repair and I realized whose vehicle it was very hard.
That's why custom fitting these military Humvees has become personal. Extra attention to better armor and more weapons. And MSG gets its advice firsthand.
And we try to find troops that were been there, done that, got shot at troops, the guy that actually pulls the trigger. And that's where we get ideas.
Fully equipped, each of these vehicles costs about $400,000. And of course, it's the armor and the weaponry that are critical, but sometimes it's the small things that make all the difference, like the step off the back of the vehicle. In the heat of the battle, that step allows troops loaded down with gear to get on and off the vehicle much quicker. Another invention designed here, hooks to hang that gear, and even a handle designed to pull yourself inside the vehicle. But in the end, it's not about inventions, metal, or guns. It's about people.
There are some of the greatest young men and women in the service right now. It just makes you feel so proud.
MSG is also working on a new piece of armor that can better withstand those roadside attacks. Now, since the war began in Iraq, the company has custom fitted more than 2,000 military vehicles.
Metro Police is on a mission to deter crime with its Park Smart program. Metro Police Chief Ronald Surpass says auto theft and burglary downtown has been reduced by more than 13% this year thanks to the program. But Chief Surpass believes the numbers can get better if citizens would do three simple things.
The solution to crime is paying very close attention to how we use our space and how we use the space around us. Park Smart is a brilliant example of that. Lock your doors, secure your valuables, and take your keys. 35 to 40% of the time on average, we see cars stolen in Davidson County where the keys were left in the car. That's such a simple thing to fix.
And in addition, Surpass also says a policy change has gone into effect to allow patrol officers to respond to auto burglaries if called.
Actor Robert Blake was acquitted for murder, and now the prosecutor in his case is taking shots at the jury. News Central's Jennifer Gladstone has that story and more in Get This.
Robert Blake certainly didn't hold back after he was acquitted of killing his wife.
Shut up.
Now the prosecutor who tried to put him away for murder is following his lead. DA Steve Cooley says the jurors that acquitted the former star are, quote, incredibly stupid, and Blake is the miserable human being who is guilty as sin. The jurors then shot back, saying this is all a bunch of sour grapes, so it seems Blake really is the one who's getting the last laugh here. Think before you drink, and think before you volunteer for a breathalyzer test. A mom in New York got into a fight with her son about whether or not she was okay to drive. So what did she do? She drove to the police station and asked for a sobriety test. Big mistake. Turns out her son was right, and she's now charged with driving under the influence. Bobby Fischer made America proud when he beat the Soviet chess champ for the world title back in 1972. But since then, he's flaunted several U.S. sanctions and even been thrown in a Japanese jail. Now, Iceland has granted him citizenship, and he's on his way to his new home. Now, just so you don't think we've lost a national treasure here, right after 9/11, Fischer praised the attacks and said he wanted to see America wiped out. quite a charmer. You can catch all of my reports on newscentral.tv. Just click on Get This. I'm Jennifer Gladstone.
Thanks, Jennifer. A legal battle involving sports radio in Music City. Local sports radio station WNSR AM 560 is suing Cumulus Broadcasting. Two of its executives, ABC Radio, ESPN Radio, and two area stations. WNSR claims ESPN Radio is breaking its contract with the station by planning to move its programming to two Cumulus-owned stations that serve Nashville. WNSR AM 560 is a locally owned independent station. Cumulus owns 300 stations nationwide.
And all sports radios, wherever they are probably tuned into a lot of basketball, right?
I'd say so. You know, the Lady Vols have gotten so much attention with Pat Summitt. Vanderbilt's women's team just kind of under the radar, the way they like it. Just ahead, the Vandy women continue to savor the sweet taste of success. Now they set their sights on Michigan State in the Sweet 16. Jesse Blanco has that story. Also, a Lady Raider rewarded for a fine coaching job at Middle Tennessee State. And spring training chaos. We'll be right back.
Fox 17 News, brought to you by the Pepsi 300, March 26th at the Nashville Super Speedway.
Oh, they're sideways. Michael Waltrip makes the pass.
Sterling Martin Truex, and the entire NASCAR Busch Series returns to Nashville Super Speedway for the Pepsi 300. Ask about First Tennessee Family Fun Seating. General admission tickets available at Save-A-Lot. Kids, come early for the Easter egg hunt. The NASCAR Pepsi 300, the ARCA Remax Series PFG Lester 150, plus Capitol recording artist Jamie O'Neill, live in concert. All one ticket. Saturday, March 26th, 1-866-RACE-TICKS.
Beeman Pontiac GMC has a simple message. During March Madness, if you're in the market to buy a new truck or SUV, look no further than Beeman. Now through Saturday. Every GMC Sierra, Envoy, and Yukon in stock is now $6,000 off MSRP. Nothing held back. Shop us first. Shop us last. But shop us. Don't make a $2,000 mistake. Beeman March Madness. Every GMC Sierra, Envoy, and Yukon is now $6,000 off MSRP. Plus top dollar for your trade. Even if your credit is less than perfect. Even if you're a first-time buyer. It's Beeman's March Madness. Now through Saturday only. Beeman Pontiac GMC. Downtown on Broadway.
Let's go!
Is it all stuff?
And it just hauls.
Nobody else had stow-and-go seating and storage.
VA Power, 0% financing. You gotta love those numbers.
Smooth ride.
Tons of room.
Bonus cash.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Dodge Spring Sales event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Get 0% financing, package discounts, plus March bonus cash allowance for up to $9,700 on Ram.
Yeah, I got a Hemi. And the deal, sweet.
Brake work's like going to the doctor. Nobody wants to go till the pain's unbearable.
For $68, we'll go ahead and install.
When I went to Budget Brakes, my brakes wasn't squeaking a little, they were grinding. I knew it was going to be a big repair job. It cost a lot of money. They done the work, fixed everything just fine, and the bill wasn't as bad as I expected. Probably shouldn't put it off so long next time. Budget Brakes is an honest brake repair for people living on a budget.
I'm finding out what it's like to ride the best, the Honda Goldwing at Honda of Cool Springs. I'm all about speed. I love this race-winning Honda CBR. Check out this Honda VTX Cruiser or Honda Shadow with its chrome spoke wheels and retro design. These Honda motorcycles will make you want to ride. Your Honda motorcycle home today from Honda of Cool Springs, Middle Tennessee's only Honda powerhouse dealer.
Hang on, Honda of Cool Springs. Hang on.
Sports on Fox 17 News.
4 SEC teams still alive on the women's side of March Madness, including the Vanderbilt Commodores, who have advanced to the Sweet 16 for the second straight season. Their next game is Sunday, but as Fox 17's Jesse Blanco found out, if you left it up to them, they'd play tomorrow.
The excitement is building to a level you might expect.
I'm very excited. Do I have trouble sleeping? Yes, because I'm very excited. It's not nervousness or anything. I'm just ready to play. Not for me. Like I know some of the girls, they say, I didn't go to sleep until 5 this morning.
That's a lot of lost Z's, but it won't matter if they lead to a W on Sunday.
I don't think that there's anything I have to say. It's that time of year where I shouldn't have to say a lot because they're so excited to be playing and looking forward to the game.
That game will be Vandy's toughest test yet. They'll be taking on #1 seed Michigan State, which they say isn't such a bad thing.
The pressure's always on the #1 seed, and I think it's good because we don't have anything to lose. At this point, we knew Going into last game, from here on out, we'd be the underdog. We're overlooked a lot. Nobody's really talking about us. No one really expects us to win. So, you kind of go in every game from here on out pretty much as the underdog. And it is less pressure. You can pretty much play free.
Play free? But these women already have a big investment in this season, and they aren't ready to stop now.
This is the focus point of the season. This is what we've been working for the entire season, entire year.
Jesse Blanco, Fox 17 Sports.
Thank you, Jesse. After back-to-back NCAA appearances, Stephanie Smith has become a hot commodity in the coaching ranks. Middle Tennessee State taking steps to ensure that she doesn't get away. A contract extension and pay raise for Smith, who's guided the Lady Raiders to back-to-back 24-win seasons. That's the best two-year run in program history. She's now under contract through 2010. Would love to show you highlights from the men's Sweet 16, but we aren't allowed to do so until the broadcast is over. Louisville shoots 55%, sending top seed Washington home. And it's midnight for Cinderella, Illinois, ending UW-Milwaukee's fantastic showing. Well, the NIT run has ended for the Vandy men despite a terrific game from freshman Shane Foster, who scored a team-high 25 points. Memphis, too strong for the Doors in the quarterfinals. The Tigers win at 81-68. Vanderbilt, with back-to-back 20-win seasons, 1 win shy of a trip to New York. With hoops winding down, a chance to check in on some sports that don't get a lot of coverage. The Commodore lacrosse team, well deserving of some. A year ago, they made it all the way to the national semifinals. This year, Kathy Sweezy's squad off to a 2-3 start as they hosted Duke this afternoon. First half, Doors look good here. Kate Hickman, nice stick work. She shoots and scores. That tied the game at 1 apiece. But watch behind the Vanderbilt net. Lee Jester has the ball, and then the spin move around Michelle Slotke. And then she beats Ashley Bastinelli. Duke goes on to beat Vandy 13-4. The Doors at home again Monday afternoon. More uplifting news from the NHL. No season, still no working agreement, and now no draft. It was scheduled for Ottawa in June, but with the lockout still unresolved, the draft has been canceled. To golf in the opening round of the Players' Championship in Ponte Vedra, Florida. This is Thomas Bjorn's second shot in the par 4 fourth. Lands it on the green, and look at the draw back to the cup. An eagle for Thomas Bjorn. Steve Jones is the clubhouse leader at 8 under. Meanwhile, in Arizona, a spring training game between the Diamondbacks and Rockies ends early. Not because of rain, but because of bee attacks. Players trying their hand at kung fu in the dugout. Then there's Colorado pitcher Darren Oliver. He's had enough, just walks off the mound in the middle of the inning. He said, I love this game, but I like myself a little bit more. Game called off after 5 because of bees. Need to check for steroids.
Thank you very much, Paul. Those stories, much more on the way. The late edition is next. Stay with us.